The purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to import and convert hourly weather data for use in DesignBuilder simulations. During the tutorial, I'll discuss the key aspects of hourly weather data, demonstrate the process of importing SIBSI weather files as an example, and finally convert the weather files to 2002 for use in DesignBuilder. The hourly weather data sets are loaded at site level under the Simulation Weather Data header of the Location tab. DesignBuilder uses Energy Plus format hourly weather data to define external conditions during simulations. Heating and cooling design calculations don't use the hourly weather data files. They use their own summary weather data sets as described in the heating and cooling design tutorials. Each geographical location has a separate weather file describing the external temperature, solar radiation, atmospheric conditions, etc. for every hour of the year at that location. These hourly weather data sets are often typical data derived from hourly observations at a specific location by the National Weather Service or Meteorological Office. More detail on the various weather data formats and file content is contained in the help file. Going to the simulation screen, you can view the weather data graphs by selecting the Site Data option here, whilst at site level. The site weather graphs contain hourly values of the key weather data: outside dry bulb and dew point temperatures, wind speed, wind direction, solar altitude and azimuth, atmospheric pressure, and direct normal and diffuse horizontal solar radiation. A better view of the data can be achieved by reducing the number of days shown on the screen. I'll change this to 31 days so I can look at each month's data in turn. Because hourly weather data is not available for every location, it's often necessary to use weather data for a nearby location, which best represents the weather of the actual site. The DesignBuilder hourly weather data has been obtained from the weather section of the Energy Plus website and processed using the DesignBuilder weather translator, but you can use any weather data provided it's in the correct format. Energy Plus format hourly weather data has the file extension EPW by convention. DesignBuilder comes with a large worldwide database of hourly weather data, but only the weather file for the default location is initially loaded. The remaining Energy Plus EPW files are not loaded onto your computer until you actually need them, which keeps the size of the DesignBuilder setup program small. When you select an hourly weather data set, you don't select the file directly, but rather an hourly weather data component, which in turn references the actual file. It works this way so that DesignBuilder can supply you with a database of hourly weather data locations without needing to include hundreds of large hourly weather files. If you simply wish to use one of the Energy Plus weather files which comes with DesignBuilder, you can select the template for the nearest location from the extensive library. The first time you require an hourly weather data file, it's automatically downloaded from the DesignBuilder website into the weather data folder on your computer, where it can be accessed by Energy Plus for any subsequent simulations. For example, here I'll select the UK Birmingham Airport template, which automatically loads the GBR Birmingham weather dataset. When I subsequently click on the Simulation tab, the pop-up dialog tells me that the selected weather file is not installed and prompts me to download it from the DesignBuilder website. Clicking OK automatically downloads the file to the weather data folder for use in the next simulation. You must be connected to the internet to download weather data in this way. So if you're likely to require a new weather data file in a location without internet access, you should download the file before travelling. Hourly weather data from other sources can also be imported directly into DesignBuilder, provided it comes in the Energy Plus EPW format. Other data formats can be imported using the DesignBuilder Weather Data Translation tool, which is described in the help file. Any custom hourly weather EPW file you select in your model will be saved with the DSB file, so that the model can be used on other computers without the need to copy weather files manually. You can either import the data into the component library from the opening screen or into your model. I'll now take you step by step through the process of importing data straight into your model using the CIBSE Design Summer Year or DSY file for Birmingham as an example. First, copy the Energy Plus format .epw file and also the .stat file if you have it to the DesignBuilder Weather Data folder, which can be accessed from the File, Folders, Weather Data folder here. You can see that I've already copied the two CIBSE files into that location already. I'll now copy the file name so that I can paste it into a dialog box shortly. Click on the Simulation Hourly Weather Data file name and then select the Add New Hourly Weather icon in the Info panel. Paste the file name into the name field using the Country Location Source convention and enter a reference source here if required. Click in the area to the right of the file name to access the Select File dialog and select your file from the list. You'll notice that some of the data from the file is now shown here in the General tab. And if the .stat file was also copied into the weather file, the weather folder, the required information from that file will also be visible in the Statistics tab here. Once all the information is entered and you've clicked OK, your new file is added to the model data. Although DesignBuilder can be used with any valid EPW dataset, you're strongly advised to process the data first to ensure that each hourly record is set to the year 2002. This ensures that the data generated by Energy Plus is correctly synchronized with the DesignBuilder graphics display. If you don't set the year to 2002, it won't affect the results, but the daily, hourly and sub-hourly data will not necessarily show the correct day of the week in the results graphics. DesignBuilder's Edit Translate Hourly Weather Data dialog can be used to process your hourly weather data. You can use this tool to convert Energy Plus EPW data to be compatible with DesignBuilder day of week results, or to translate weather data in other formats to the Energy Plus format so that it can be used in DesignBuilder, or to generate modified weather data sets for investigating climate change scenarios, I'll now use the tool to set the year of my new weather file to 2002. The weather data translator can be accessed from the hourly weather data option here in the Tools menu. Selecting this produces the dialog box you can see now. The info panel here on the right shows which file types can be converted and provides the procedure here for converting files, which I'll now follow. First, click to the right of the folder text and select the Browse button. Then navigate to the weather data folder, which is located here in the DesignBuilder folder in Program Data on your hard drive. Once you've selected the folder, the file list will be displayed. Select the file you wish to convert by clicking on it. The tick icon will then be displayed next to the selected file. Check that the options are set correctly. Note that these should normally be left at default setting when simply converting to 2002. And I don't need to change the file name because I already used the country location source format. Go to the Modify tab and make sure that the Fix Year to 2002 option is selected, and then click the Convert button to start the conversion process. Once the file's been converted, the text bar here at the bottom of the screen should indicate that the conversion process was successful. If you now navigate to the weather folder using the link here in the info panel, you'll see that there are now 4 files for your location, with the conversion process creating an audit file and a DDY file, as well as the converted EPW file. I can now load the converted file, which is shown in red in the list because it's user-defined library data, and I'll apply it with the tick icon. If you do intend to run the heating and cooling design calculations, you must also ensure that the correct location template is loaded, as these calculations don't use the hourly weather data. Having just run a quick summer design week simulation, you can see that the x-axis on the simulation screen is correctly displaying the year 2002, and that the weekend days correspond with periods of no internal heat gains due to occupancy. I can now confidently run longer simulations with the new weather data. This tutorial has demonstrated how easily you can import and convert hourly weather data for use in DesignBuilder simulations. More in-depth information on weather data and the different file types is included in the help file should you need it.